Alright, so the next thing, we just made a couple of harness pieces, and the next thing is how to attach it to the transmitter. And the first thing you want to do is make sure your harness pieces are the same length. So I like to make sure they're the same length above the elastic, and then also at the bottom side. This will help when you're fitting the transmitter. So when you have the tails of these ribbons, you can equal them out on both sides, so you know it's equal left to right. So that's why you want them to be the same size. So once you have your pieces made up with your elastic in them, you're going to need these copper crimps. And the way I do that is I just go to a refrigerant store or the hardware store and buy this. This is 1/8 inch diameter copper tubing, typically for refrigeration. This is just a little pipe cutter. And you could just cut off small little sections, and don't press too hard because you want to keep them round and you don't want to make too big of burrs on them on the inside. So you just go around a couple times and you'll end up with little pieces. So once you have your 4 little copper crimps, you put them on the edges of your harnesses. You want 1/8 inch tubing because when it flattens out it'll be 1/4 inch, which is the same as your Teflon. So you put these two top pieces together. I always do the top on the top of the transmitter. This will go towards the head of the bird. You get your 2 pieces through your transmitter, and then you can, so all of this can be done before you go out in the field. So up until this point we're doing everything in the office or in the field house or wherever. And this is why you needed that 1.5 inch up in front, so you can fit this in. You may even want to go 2 inches. As you can see, I'm having a little bit of trouble getting this all the way through. You do that for both sides, and you simply crimp it down. You can cut this off. You could put a little bit of super glue on the ends of this to keep it from fraying over time. You do this for both sides. And as you can see, the edges do fray quite a bit. And with the super glue, what you do is you can open up the Teflon ribbon and put the glue inside the tube, just like we put the elastic inside of it. And this is why it's always nice to do this before you go out in the field with cold hands in the dark, because it is a little bit of a pain to get this all the way through. Crimp it, and those won't come off. That's your final attachment. Again, you can cut the frays off, put a little glue in there, and so this is what you're going to use to attach to the bird. This goes to the head. Obviously you want the antenna out the back. You put your copper crimps on the back side. You can actually start them already before you go out in the field. Make sure there's no twists in the Teflon. You can start both sides if it's long enough. If it's not, just start one side, and then you can put the other side on as you have the bird in hand. You can do a little bit of crimp, like a half crimp, so you can still move it and adjust it, but it's not going to pull out as easy. So that once you have this started, you just go around the leg of one of your bird, go around the other leg, and then once you get a good fit, which is just a little less than probably a finger on the back of the bird without this being stretched, you crimp these, cut off the end, put a little super glue in, and then you have that's all you need to do.